Hi everybody. So it is September 19th. It's definitely fall. What, you want down nugget? Okay, go nugget. And I thought it was time to get out here and do another garden video. So I'm sitting out in the trellis where our green beans are. And you can still see we have green beans. Today is a beautiful sunny day. We've had some cold weather. Well, actually it's only 8.8 Celsius out there right now. So let's take a look at what I still have growing in the garden. And at the end, I'll tell you what my next project is. All right, let's get to it. Cue the intro. So we're going to start at the north end of the greenhouse, and we've got our blackberries here on our bamboo trellis that we built. We didn't get a lot of them, which I didn't expect, but they're growing, and we did have some and they were very tasty. So next to the blackberries is my one bed with tomatoes. Now this was my Roma tomato beds, this was my San Marzano tomato bed, except for this one plant here is my Roma. And we've harvested quite a bit. We still got a lot of tomatoes on here. We're supposed to get some. Oh no. What are you two doing? Nugget, are you digging holes? Nugget, were you digging? Oh, are you looking guilty? Look at that dirty face. Okay, back to the tomatoes. We've harvested a lot. We've got a lot more to go, and hoping we get some good weather. We're supposed to have good weather this week, so we'll see. Over here, I've got some of the small dahlias. I haven't gotten in here and deadheaded, which I need to. But in here, I do have a pimento. So I'm going to use this one and save seeds for next year. Then we've still got some habanero, no, what am I talking about? Poblanos. Any bell peppers, we got lots of those. They're just too small. They'd be great for stuffing for parties with cream cheese, etc. People tell me they're tasty, but I don't like peppers. Back in here, of course, I've got some of the orange ones growing. So they ended up producing quite a bit. And then down here, I have a really pretty red bell pepper. Now let's go over to our beans. So the first part of the bed I pulled out. I thought they were runner beans. They were not runner beans, but then I do have some runner beans. And so let's take a step back. It looks really pretty. Oh, wow. I got lots of beans to pick. So they keep coming. So that's good. But we've froze a bunch. I really like these ones here. They're the green with a light purple. I think that's what I'm going to grow next year. I just got to find them. So I had bought a mix box. It had this one, and then it had these purple ones. We've just harvested the purple ones. There's better purple ones up in there. Very tasty, not stringy. As you can see, we still have flowers growing. So it just depends. Are we going to get a nice October or not? Last couple years that we've been here, usually within the first week of October, we get a frost. All right, oh, I forgot. The grand cherry that I planted did very well. Got lots of berries under there. I'm not going to plant it in a bed again. I thought it went straight up. It doesn't. It spreads out. And then over here we have watermelon, and you can see it's starting to go, the leaves. We have eaten one watermelon. I did get them in late, but let me show you this. I didn't even see this watermelon till a couple weeks ago, and it's growing right through the cattle panel, but I think it's ready to harvest because the little tendril here, whoops. Let's see if we can do it. The little tendril right here has gone brown. So I think I'm going to try to cut that out of here today. We'll see how that goes. But I do have another one down there I need to check and see, and a couple other small ones. Okay, so I almost missed this. We still have a few cantaloupe left in here. The leaves are all going. But here's a nice big one right here. It should be ready in the next couple of days. I need to put something here to catch it so it doesn't hit the ground. It's a good 6-foot drop. Don't want to lose it. But yeah, they're really good cantaloupe. So here's my bed that I planted in beets in, I think July. And I've got some big, beautiful beets in here. We've got some zucchinis in here as well. They got in here late. Gonna have to pull those out, I think, soon. You know how everybody says lock your doors, people are gonna put zucchinis in them? We had zucchini issues. We ended up with all female flowers for the first part. So, oh, that's a nice looking zucchini actually right there. So we'll have to have that for lunch. So next to the zucchinis, I got this cabbage bed, and this is my second harvest that we'll get off of this. I did have a third row in the middle. Next year I will just do 2 rows. Be sure to check out my cabbage videos. I talk all about what I did here, but like here we've got a really nice big one, and that's second growth. So check those out to see. Oh, Missy is in there trying to get tomatoes. There's my trellis, and I've still got some nice tomatoes coming on it. But with the cold that we're getting, or the cool, who knows how much longer we'll be able to get tomatoes off of it. But I need to get in here and harvest. Oh, I got a nice big orange one there. So I have lots of tomatoes, you know, good sized ones. I'll keep an eye on the weather, and I may just end up picking them and making green salsa. All right, let's check the cucumbers out. This is at the end of my tomato trellis, and I just noticed I actually have more flowers growing. And that shouldn't be happening because of how cool we've been. But these are my sun golds. Love them. They're so good. Other people have said by this time of year, their sun golds are long done, and mine are going strong. Now I trellised them up, but I mean, as you can see, the branch comes down. I just didn't have time to get to it, but they are really tasty. So now over here are my Manitoba tomatoes that are really growing now. It was late, but there's lots of them coming now. Over here, I've got more Roma tomatoes. They were all along the side of my my cucumber plants. Here's my trellis I was growing the cucumbers on. I have pulled some of the plants out because they weren't doing so good, but I still have cucumbers coming, flowers coming, little cucumbers. So we're just gonna let it grow and see what happens. Here's just another shot of the Roma tomatoes. I mean, those are beautiful. I am going to try transplanting one that has a lot of tomatoes and put it in the greenhouse. I did that last year and it worked. We'll see what happens this year. Here's the greenhouse. I got lots of lettuce growing. Now some of this oak leaf is starting to get a bit bitter. We need to eat a lot more lettuce. Over here, I pulled out some harvest lettuce the other day. And then I have some tomato plants that self-seeded. We're just going to let them do their thing and see what happens with them. In here, I've moved in my potatoes, and let's see if we can see a potato in here. Yeah, there's potato. So I got a couple of them there. Just going to cover those back up. What they tell me is if you leave them in a place that's not going to freeze, you can overwinter them, dig them out when you need them. We're going to try. Now, I was having no luck with my eggplants, but then I didn't have time to pay any attention to them, and I just noticed I think I've got like, okay, so down there I have one. I have another one there. I got 2 more over there. And then behind this ucky leaf, whoa, behind this ucky leaf, I've got a purple one coming. So, I can't believe it. It's September and we have eggplants coming. Over in that corner, I've got beets and I've got some tomato plants that just got away from me in here. They did not do good in the greenhouse this year. But I've got flowers on them. We'll just leave them and see what happens. Okay, here's our raspberry plant patch. They're growing great. And I had bought some fall raspberries. And I've got 4 plants in here. And we've just been harvesting them a lot. They're really good. So we've had ice cream with raspberry sundaes. We've had raspberry shakes. And then I had gotten some raspberry bushes from our neighbor, and they just weren't growing. Had these teeny tiny raspberries on them this June, July. I mean, you can see here, I mean, they were just spindly, only to come out to realize They're actually fall raspberries, and they sent up new canes, and there's our fruit. So we're actually going to dig up our fall raspberries and move them up to the upper garden. I'll show you that. Let's head up there. I forgot we have onions as well. Now I started these from seed, and I started them too late. I mean, we'll get a harvest off of them. I don't think we'll get big ones, but I'm hoping we can let them grow for another week or two before I need to pull them out. I will be starting them, I think, in January if I'm going to do them by seeds. We'll see what happens next year. Oh, and the portulacas are still growing. It's just cool now. It'll warm up and open up in a bit. So here's our herb garden. I'm still harvesting out of it and using it in my cooking. Over here we have carrots that we'll need to pull out soon. Strawberries we still have coming. They're Sequest. Yeah, I think it's Sequest. So they're still growing. These beds here I've all pulled out. I did get in irrigation to it this summer. Up here are some tomato plants. We might get a few off of that. And then down here, of course, is our flower bed that we put in at the end of the pool. Just look at these beautiful dahlias. They're doing so good. Got such beautiful colors. I am going to dig, oh, and spider webs. I am going to dig them all up and overwinter them and see what happens. All right, let's head up to the upper garden. Now, this is a tomato plant. We'll get shadows in here, unfortunately. That self-seeded. It was seeds in the compost. So we have tomatoes. I don't know what kind of tomatoes these are, but they are still flowering. I got some tomatoes down there, so we'll wait and see what happens. And then some of those rose bushes that we dug out, I mean, they're pretty now, but I still have more to dig out. They keep coming back. Over here I have tomatoes, again, that self-seeded, but I do know that those are, well, they're one of my bumblebees, my purple or my sunrise. I don't know which ones. Then we got some beautiful Gladstill. So up here in the upper garden, I've got Mexican red beans growing. And they're still putting flowers out, but I've got beans coming. I did get them in late, so we'll see. I do have more seeds, but I'm hoping to harvest these. I might have to pull them out, hang them upside down so the beans will dry. And then our corn and the front rows here, I grew Super Sweet Jubilee, and I will be growing it again. It is so tasty. But next year, this whole bed will be corn. Only corn will be growing in here. I don't know what we're doing with asparagus. So we planted them a year ago. So we do have some of the fronds coming up. I do hope to go and get some more. I'm gonna get the male variety, plant them in here and see what happens. And up here, we were afraid we were going to lose our blueberries. It got so stinking hot, and I didn't get a shade cloth on them in time. I know now it just looks like fall and the leaves are dying off, but the blueberries plants are actually doing really good. So I'm really hopeful for these for next year. Nugget's going to go up there and inspect them. I need to get up here and weed around the pots. As you can see, some of the leaves are putting on their fall colors. So I think this will be a success. I mean, next year, we just did these, when? June? No, July. We planted them out here. So I'm really looking forward to next year. Let's check out the rhubarb. Got irrigation out here with the rhubarb as well. And you can see they're looking really nice and healthy. So next year I'm expecting bigger, better plants. I'm gonna frame beds around them, put some compost in here. So hoping for a big harvest next year so we can make some more heavenly rhubarb jam, and I'll have to post that next year for you, so stay tuned. Next July we'll be doing some really good jam. Okay, so Nugget and I are done showing you the upper garden. Let's head down to our mini orchard. I just had to show you these zinnias that we've got where our little apple tree is. They are humongous. They've done really well in this spot. We've got some snapdragons in here. The sweet peas, we had just gotten them out way too late. But yeah, the zinnias, I mean, look at those. They're just huge. So there's our little apple tree. It had quite a few apples on it. There's one left. They all fell off. Don't know what happened. Whoops. Really didn't have time to pay attention to it, so we'll have to check it out later. There's our cherry tree. The pruning that we gave it in the spring, it's looking really good, but the birds got our cherries. The neighbors, let's see, starlings came in and just stripped our neighbor's tree down. And so we put their nets on our trees, but the magpies still got, the birds got in and ate them all. So we'll have to see what we can do next year. I need to get some more compost out under here. I need to dig around the pear tree and get some compost in there. And because of the cold spring, we hardly got any pears. Oh, actually, I think there's more than I thought. But our first year here, we got like 55 pounds of pears. That's not going to happen this year. Let's take a look at the other side. There's more. So here's the other side of the tree. And over here, not bad. But when it blossomed, there was no bees out because it was just so cold. Now, we have had a couple fall. I think there's, you can see they're over there. But I learned not to pick these until the beginning of October and then just let them ripen a bit, and they are so, so good. All right, let's finish it off in our front flower garden. The flower garden out front here is still looking pretty good. The sunflowers, not so much, but the other stuff is looking really, really pretty. I mean, look at my dahlias here. Aren't they just beautiful? I mean, look at those. We still got lots of bees. Need to get out here and deadhead the zinnias. One thing we did by mistake is we planted everything way too close that we can't get in here. It's hard. Oh, and then even down there, my little piggy pigs, we've got some other beautiful dahlias. Now those sunflowers in there are still looking good. Let's see if I can get back in here because these are just gorgeous. Take a look at this dahlia. The bees are all over it. This is a dinner plate one. It's a good 10 inches across, just gorgeous. And then there's another one down in here. So needless to say, I'll be saving all of the tubers and just so happy. So that's it for this garden tour. This will probably be the last garden tour for this year, other than when I clean everything out, top up the beds. We'll take a look. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens with that. So our next project is to get the potting shed done, and I'm going to start that today. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, but it always takes longer than you think it's going to be. I got to get a few more things out of it and then start putting that together so we can start our seedlings in December for flowers probably. And January for some of the other things like onions and things like that take longer, things that I want to get planted out, the cool weather crops. So be sure to check out the playlist for the garden tour, and bye for now, and thanks for watching.